Welcome. Wow. So John, what happened to there he is.
You always, when you walk up here, you look over at your name tag, make sure you're.
Well, does it see my hand?
I remember one time they had mine and yours reversed. You weren't here yet, and I walked in, or maybe you weren't here.
Eventually we could be a distance, so.
Oh, on that. Yeah, right. Well, welcome to the December 11th work session of the Elizabethtown City Government. Mr. Bennett, would you like to open with prayer?
Bow our heads, please. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Join us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wow, Mr. Rice, glad to see you tonight.
What did you drive today?
Drove a different car today.
You did.
Mayor, City Council, good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to come and address you. I'll let Ed hand out the handouts there.
We appreciate you coming, otherwise we wouldn't have met.
Well, that's what I saw. I asked for the agenda earlier today, and I got it about 5 minutes ago, so. Again, I appreciate your attention today. As you know, I serve on the Planning Commission for the City of Elizabethtown, and we've been in discussion for some time about updating the comprehensive plan. What was handed to you just now gives you a little more. I'm going to give you a summation of it, but basically, we have not fully updated and rewritten the comprehensive plan since 2004. We're required by law to update it periodically, but we really haven't done that. And we feel now is the time to do that for several reasons. I think there's been a couple of instances that we've submitted things on up to you for development downtown that there's really not a lot of teeth, and in our plan talks about the use of downtown. Secondly, you know, when we did this in 2004, what is perceived to be downtown improvement has changed somewhat. So we feel it is time to sit down and meet with the community and come together with folks in the community and to redirect our comprehensive plan. It's time to do that. As you all know, when we've done this in the past, your own staff is somewhat limited by doing the day-to-day opportunities. And so to do this, we're suggesting that we get an outside firm to assist in this. I got kind of an outline of how all this would fall, but we would go out and try to secure or get contacts from entities that might be able to give us an option to help us with this, and then work with them through several phases of trying to get groups together to come together with what it is the uses are and to update that. The price tag, which always is the question for you all, since our commission doesn't have any money, is we've identified that the cost is somewhere between $75,000 and $90,000 for this, and it's something that you can spread over a couple of years because it's going to take us, we feel like somewhere around 18 months to complete. So it is something that I know I've talked with several of you about, it would be nice that we can maybe do this later, but we're really running into some issues where people are wanting to do some things in certain areas, particularly downtown, that just don't fit the model of what our comprehensive plan has. And it's making it very, very difficult for us to really evaluate those and send those on to you all. So it's something that I would like for you all to consider, seriously consider. I know it would be good to kind of wait for another year for another regime to come in, but I think frankly, we can't wait. We need to go ahead and get this started now and work through this process. So I'm here to answer any questions that you might have about this. I feel very strongly, the commission feels very strongly about this. Mr. Shipp, who sits on our group on Tuesdays, I think could probably speak to this a little bit if he wants. But again, I'm here to answer any questions that you all may have.
Well, I mean, just, recently we've had cell towers. We've had the topics of tow yards. We've had the topics of downtown, whether or not you can serve alcohol, downtown, or if you're on the edge, like with a beauty shop or a salon, things like that.
Right.
I mean, there's been quite a few things come up that we're just kind of winging it a little bit. And so we're going to have to kind of think about that. And also not only downtown, but on the outskirts of town, because we're always interested in new parkland and things like that. And I think this would give us an idea of where we want to designate some areas of town for our future park.
I've mentioned downtown a couple of times, but you're right. There's other areas in the city where we're growing. We've already done about 80 million so far this year, new construction. That's a pretty good year. Our record, I think, is 110. So, and we still have December to go. So I know that we're excited about that. But you've got Ring Road out at the WK. You've got there's all kinds of activities. So setting here 13 years ago when we did this, it's a whole different perspective today. And we really, really do need to update it. I think it would be best for not only the commission, but for you all as council and also for the city that we get a little more in tune to what the uses are around town.
Well, Steve, you mentioned it, so did Terry. People are talking not only about the change downtown, obviously, which a lot of them, but they're also talking about what's happening what is happening out. What used to be, the hub areas, the centers and things like that. That's a big change too.
Right. It is out, Patriot Parkway, Veterans Way, all those areas out in there are subject to change.
Yeah, but what I'm referring to is, many of those places now are worried about, that they're declining.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be the center of activity, which is not the case necessarily anymore.
Right.
Steve, is the 18-month time period, is that? Seems like a long time. Is there a way to, you go 18 months down the road, the city is different in 18 months.
Right.
Without, I guess, affecting the integrity of the report.
I'm kind of giving us a little leeway. I'd rather tell you 18 and do it in 12.
Okay.
I think it's a matter, Marty, of getting the okay from you all, setting aside, and then going to work to find a firm that's going to be able to assist us. And then once we've done that, then it'll be able to identify the groups that will give us the input. So,
support firms in the past.
Yes, we have. Yeah. And this is not unusual for other cities. I know I've talked to where I'm from, Richmond, and they've done this recently. There's a lot of other cities our size that use consultants to assist with this. And I just think we really have to do it. I'm not saying you have to do it, but ideally, if we're going to grow and really, be sensitive to what's going on, we try to be consistent on the commission with in setting precedent. And I want to throw this into you all while I have this format. We have people that come in from all over the nation, particularly with some of these big boxes that come in and work with our staff, and we get lots of compliments from your staff here that in working with them, they really are impressed by the procedure that they go through and all that type of thing. So you need to understand that we hear that in those meetings. I know Terry hears that. And then ironically, we'll hear from some local people and they say we're the worst ones ever, So I don't get it. I don't get it. So, but you do need to know, we got a really good staff, but this is a big project. This is pretty. And it's going to be beneficial for all of you and everybody that's in E-Town if we can update this thing, because I think it's going to give us the next, I don't want to say next gen, but it'll give us the next step for what we need to do about the use of our city. So I really appreciate any consideration that you all could give us.
Steve, Since the last one was done 2004, I mean, we're gonna shorten this time period probably with this comprehensive plan for it to be updated. See that as a need?
When you go into the process, right? Take all those, look at it every time. As Steve points out, noted now that time period, the commission has used it, and we've done some updates, amendments to it. But it's, the longer that time period, how good you are in prediction. The longer you're 20 years, good. 5 years. A lot of the stuff that Steve brought up, that the commission talked about, and that you all mentioned about some of our outward growth, that was in the plan. Plan said, no, that's go towards hardwood. The problem is what, a lot of that growth talked about in the general terms, when they start getting more specific proposals, that's where that 20 years is not, the prediction isn't as detailed. Even though the plan, I think, supports the decision, but some of the decisions. Oh yeah, we thought we were gonna see some redevelopment out at the interstate, but specifically say, oh yeah, we think all of a sudden we're gonna have what is restaurants. No, it didn't. We've now been confronted with street design issues that, and the plan just, oh, it's gonna be good if we do development. They're trying to get more detailed in the specifics of where should this road go. Not, that's the kind of information they struggle with at times. And as we talked most recently about a lot of the stormwater efforts, I mean, when this plan was done 50 years ago, this didn't even have a stormwater department, and we weren't even talking about regional basins. Well, regional basins have a big impact on them, the commercial developments that they're seeing out on Ring Road, and stuff, and how that's even from a design standpoint. So, some design standards now, because in general terms, the plan said the community ought to look at design more in the future. Okay, so have work with broad statement that we ought to look at design. And really, what are we doing and how are we doing it? When like I said, when the city does business,
I think we want to be proactive. I think you all are aware that, when a developer comes in and wants to develop a subdivision, for instance, there's generally some part of that development that's unbuildable. And so they come, oh, we'll give this to the city and this can be their parks and all that. I think we need to be a little more proactive about that and looking at all these areas and not be a dumping ground. It's great that they want to give us, out of 24 acres, give us an acre and a half. It's a floodplain area, but then who's going to maintain it, right? The city does. So, I think we just need to be a little more proactive on the whole look of the city. And I think it's going to pay many dividends for us down the road. And we won't wait 13 or 15 years to do it again, but we're way outdated right now. I think we're vulnerable. If someone were to come in, it makes it a little difficult for us to kind of say, yes, you can or you can't. If we had a comprehensive plan that said, yes, this is approved and this isn't, you really wouldn't need us, but that's not the way it works. So we try to adhere to that. It's a track for us to run on. There are exceptions to that, but they need to be sound. And that's what we try to do as a commission. So
I think we're probably a little outdated, even if we were an average growing city, but we're a little above average.
Yeah.
We're growing fast.
yeah.
Well, the bad news is we're suffering through growing pains. The good news is we're suffering through growing pains.
Exactly.
So
If you've driven anywhere in this town the last 3 weeks, I barely get over 28 miles an hour because there's a lot of traffic in this town. So
You don't have to throw all that in for that.
I know that. Well, I don't need to go any faster than that anyway. So, but go ahead.
Question, and just for public information, some people may think that this, you mentioned 75 to 90,000 is what the cost of the study would be. The majority of that is for the consultants. Is that right, Steve, or Ed? Yeah.
Yes. 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 So we basically hire them.
Well, I mean, and one of the reasons we need consultants for this is simply, if I understand right, our staff just doesn't have time to do it. I mean, we have people on our staff that you could certainly do it if you had nothing else on your plate. But as fast as we're growing, that's why we need some people.
If we had Ed and about 2 or 3 other assistants, maybe, and they had nothing else to do.
Nothing else
So,
to do for 6 months. Yeah.
so I think it's a good use and wise use of the city's resources because the firm will be working with the staff. And so they're not just going to be out there running herd. They're, it's an interaction kind of thing. And frankly, when we get to, phase 2, we're actually getting groups together in the community. Your constituents are going to be able to have an opportunity to have some say in where this goes based on we see trends and those types of things. So I think it's a win-win for the whole city. But
That's pretty much what we did.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But if we were to go ahead and give them the okay to do this,
We can't do it tonight.
but no, what I'm saying though is we can't do it at all unless we have the funds someplace, because if we wanted to have the first 3-month section done by April 1, we need to find it in our current budget.
Got any money, man?
Write a letter to Sam.
I've already
Do we have the city credit card for this?
asked the mayor if I'm on her Christmas list, if we could take a little bit out of that mayor's
You know
fund.
how many great things she's got?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's what I do with the city credit card, of course.
But there's 5 months worth of work here.
That was a joke, media.
On the current
Do what, Charlie?
Yeah.
But we just can't wait till, I know you all want to run fiscal year, and I know we're already into that so far, but I'm just saying to you, we can't wait till next June, July to do this. We need to get started on it now because it takes a process. So it's funny, I came and talked to the mayor a little while back about this, and I said, well, we're going to need some money. And the first thing she said to me, do you take payments? So I'm asking for payments here.
Maybe these consultants, maybe we can put it on like.
There you go. Maybe so. Maybe so.
We will, we have always taken care of what we need to do.
Right.
To grow the city.
Right.
We will find it somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your all's consideration. If you have any questions, check with Ed or myself. Be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. So
We appreciate you all because
Yes.
everybody on the board, you're all volunteers and you work really hard, and lots of times you take a lot of grief, and we appreciate it.
we love it. We love it when the room's full. It really makes it exciting. I'm joking, Marty. I'm joking. I know you looked at me like, really? Is there anything else I can answer for you all today?
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, I've got a report from the Air Board. The Air Board met today, and they have asked that I'll start reviewing this report, just in case anybody has any questions about it. This is a November report, 326 air movements at the airport. 30 were by jets, 22 by turbines, 8 by light twins, and 134 are small, fixed wing aircraft, and 132 are rotary aircraft. We had 10 cargo movements, 122 military movements, and 22 were private businesses. And the ones that they could track were from Summit Polymers, Jack Henry and Associates, Hendrickson, Altec, Bailey Lumber, Thermotronics, Metalsa, NetJets, FlexJets, and Option Jets. So many of them apparently come in and they hide their identities because they're, coming in and wanting to look at the area. And all but 2 of our hangars are rented, so got most of those rented. And our gas, or our jet fuel was $4.85 a gallon. And that's, the average in the state is $5.52. And the neat thing about this is, as far as tourists and things like that come in town, they made 28 car rental reservations that lasted for 40 days. And they made 12 hotel reservations for 32 overnight stays. So they do that at the airport as well. So here's a copy of it if anybody wants it.
Thank you.
I did my job, right?
You sure did.
Good job.
All right.
That will be reflected in your paycheck.
There you go.
Robert may use you for stormwater.
Willow Creek people are very happy with their early Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Very happy.
What was that?
Mr. Brown.
The
was
streets
talking.
are paved out there.
I found it amazing that Scotty's could get to some side streets, but yet couldn't get to Poplar, one of the main arteries here in town.
You
It
want to
still rubs
explain
on you
that?
now. Well, it's ready.
And we're still gonna do it. This cycle, yeah,
Cycle whole
Right now, yeah.
year.
Before, I mean,
Right.
before.
in the next few days, right?
Because I think the people in Willow Creek didn't think they were gonna get their pay.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, they're very happy.
I knew they were. I remained very positive.
They call you Santa.
That's why I asked last week on the
Yeah.
asphalt.
He said it worked. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you,
See you
Mayor.
next week, and it'll be the last meeting of the year.
It's when we hand out year-end bonuses. Be sure to be here.
and we may start back the tradition, which we abandoned many hundred years ago, of this council singing, "We wish you a Merry Christmas."
Only you were here 100 years ago, Ron.
Well, that's, no, we wish you a Merry Christmas. But we may not do that too. We may not do that too.